What's going on, everybody? We are back with another live stream. And I believe we are in the double digits now. Definitely in the double digits. I've been doing live streams for roughly 3 or so months. I do have to count, though. I think probably 12 to 15 now. So I'm excited to continue these, and these are getting a little bit easier. So I remember the first ones that I did is just felt a little bit awkward, felt a little bit weird. But with practice comes getting better. So, Corey, what's up, my guy? Kevin, good to see you. Might have to miss the live session, but if you have the chance, what's your thoughts on one channel in one's name or what the niche is? I have in my name, but just create the niche Facebook group. Gotcha. I'll give it a few minutes before I answer that question or my take on it, but I do have an answer for that. Plant-based MMA, Jade, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Did you catch the fights this weekend? Valentina's just so good. She's like unstoppable. I don't see anyone beating her. I don't know, like it's hard to say that, but you know, Amanda obviously beat her twice. Those were close, but I mean, is she gonna fight Amanda again? I don't know. I don't think so. It's hard to swing that third fight or that rubber match when it's 2-0. Or I actually really want to see Valentina fight. Reconnection successful. Okay, there we go. I think we're back now. And yeah, I feel bad because I missed your live stream, Jess. I planned it, and then I even put an alarm. And usually for me, I like to, and this is a tip for those of you who are into the productivity space. So every day for the next day, I'll usually set timers or like set alarm clocks for when I have to do that thing or 5 minutes before I have to do that thing. So that's how I like to remind myself just in case I get like really busy to make sure that I stay on my time blocks. So that day that I had the live stream or your live stream, Jess, I put 4:55. And then I got a text at 4:20 or 4:30 saying, hey, are we still on for tonight? From something that I planned with actually my fraternity brothers and sisters, the co-ed community service fraternity. So I was like, oh shoot, I totally forgot that I had that. So, but I did rewatch your live stream in full. So Jade says, I actually just did a whole personal branding assignment in my marketing class. Yes, Valentina is a beast. The only opponent for her is Amanda. Yeah, that one's hard. Like I would want to see that fight again. Though it's like, how can they get that done with, 2-0, right? So, but yeah, I'm excited to talk about personal branding today. And that is the topic of discussion for today. For those of you who are just joining in, I will be talking about how to build your personal brand, how I'm building my personal brand, just the pros, the cons. And so, I don't know why my connection is unstable. It's like my connection, I think we upgraded the internet, but I don't know why it's stable, unstable, connect, reconnect. So maybe it's because I have OBS, because I'm connecting through OBS. Maybe it's better if I just don't use OBS, but we'll see. So yeah, like I said, you're allowed to have a life outside YouTube. It's good to connect with real people. Yeah, I agree with you, Jess. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I've definitely learned how to step back from YouTube because YouTube is one of those things where it's all encompassing, and it's a never-ending type of thing. Though I really, really look to support the people who are always supporting me, and you are just one of those people. So it's more of it's not a big deal maybe to you, but to me it's like, I can't believe I missed it, just because like I really wanted to ask you questions and get to know you a little bit more, it's always, we have our like milestones, right? Not necessarily milestones, but just stuff that we have, like our first live stream or our 100th video or our 1,000th subscriber or whatever, So I like to be those. I like to be there for people, especially on their first live stream, because I know how it is doing that first live stream. So, Adrian and Nico, good to see you. The one and only Vince, you make me feel special. Kevin asks, how much do you think keeping your videos to a schedule help your channel growth? So how much do you think moving your videos to a schedule help your channel growth? So I think, honestly, that's a good question, Kevin, I think the schedule is more helping me build my personal brand, but not necessarily helping me build my audience. So a lot of my audience actually are from, it varies, right? So it's one side, I feel, one side is more of small YouTubers. The other side is more of like a majority, I would say the largest percentage are small YouTubers and then jiu-jitsu. And I say jiu-jitsu because my jiu-jitsu videos are usually the ones that do better than my other videos. And I've recently had a video around 61 days today, and that's got over 18,000 views now. So I got a lot of subscribers from that video. So people are subscribing to me for jiu-jitsu content, but also I've had that audience from being a small YouTuber, right? So I think with my current schedule, like how I'm talking about real estate, people aren't generally subscribing to me for real estate, I feel. The ones that support me and my real estate endeavors are the small YouTubers. They're the ones that are vocal about it. So I don't feel that I'm attracting like a certain audience in terms of what is that called? I'm not attracting the like real estate. Like it's a little bit, but not that much. But I feel like most of my audience comes from, again, jiu-jitsu and then the small YouTuber community. And with the ultra running as well, like I'm not that great of an ultra runner. I more do it on the side. And the ultra runners that support me are the ones, or the runners that support me are small YouTubers. So it's kind of this weird thing of most of my audience is small YouTubers / jiu-jitsu, because those are the videos that have been doing well, right? And then so in terms of growth, the schedule helps my growth. The more that I come out with jiu-jitsu videos, the more that I grow. So that's why I try to do like at least one video, obviously one video, and then or two if I can that week. But I'm also not willing to sacrifice the other 5 days, right? The other 5 to 6 days, because it's important to me that I talk about those other things, because for me, it's also personal branding, right? Because I'm like jiu-jitsu is only one layer of me, and I want to let everybody know, like, I'm more than jiu-jitsu. I'm more than ultra running. I'm more than pull-ups. I'm more than a California real estate agent. I'm more than a lot of these things. So I want to talk about what I want to talk about, because I'm interested in all those things. So for the time being, I'm not willing to give up talking about a lot of different things, because it's like, for me, YouTube is just fun. It's a way for me to, as an expressive outlet. And I'm not really too worried about money. Like I don't really want, like, YouTube is nice for making money. Like, yeah, if I can get, like lunch money, cool. But the type of money that I want to make, I don't think I would be able to get it from YouTube. YouTube is more of a, I guess, like a passion project, side hustle, and it's nice to get some money from it, right? So to answer your question, Kevin, it's a long-winded answer, but helping my channel grow, not necessarily because I'm so wide with my content, but it's definitely helped with, like me finding a creative outlet, and also helping with my personal branding, because doing all these things, they're going to be like, oh, Vince is doing a lot. Like, I didn't, like, he's doing a lot, and that says a lot about his personality. That says a lot about him and his personal brand that he's building. So I think because I'm so wide, it also helps build my personal brand. So, all right. Too many people online now. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jeremy. Thanks for the session, Jen. It was a good session. Feeling good for tomorrow. Actually, I'm not sure which session it was, but Jen had a I believe it was Saturday or Sunday, she had a live yoga session, and I wasn't doing the yoga, but I was breathing with it. I was drinking my cup of coffee and I was breathing. I was like, yeah, this is like really relaxing. And I need to get back to yoga because it's very calming. And like, there's just something about breathing in, breathing out. And then it's like, oh, you just feel better. So thanks for checking it out. What's up? Not too much. How about you? All right. I tried to do 10 minutes a night of one of your yoga classes. Yours is always a top class. Yeah, if anyone wants to check out yoga, Move with Jen, great yoga, and other things as well. She does like workouts, yoga, fitness, and lifestyle. So I'm liking the schedule you've got. It's organized now. Yeah, I really like my schedule too. It's some days, you know, I'll get to a certain day and I don't really want to like talk about this. It's kind of a like, what do I talk about? But I'm so glad that I stick to the schedule because, you know, I want to build those specific days. I want to build my personal brand around those days as well. So, because like sometimes I get to the real estate days, I'm like, if I don't have a pre-filmed or like a virtual walkthrough, it's like, okay, what do I talk about? So yeah, like yesterday's video was kind of like last minute and it was, you know, the best advice that I've gotten so far. You know, I want to put more thought into some of these videos and I have like really good ideas, but again, ideas are only ideas. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this because there's a lot of other ideas I have for like those real estate videos that I feel would provide value, but those are the videos that would take a little bit longer to like film. And I actually want to script out some of it, at least a skeleton, so that I know I have a good sense of what I want to talk about. Because I've also noticed that if I script out certain videos, they just do better because I usually just wing it. And me winging it only has gotten me so far. So I think, you know, not winging it will, you know, I'll be able, you know, doing overlays, a little bit more editing, and it's just a little bit more time that could yield better results. And I really saw that with the jiu-jitsu video, with my advice to white belts from all belt levels. Again, that video is killing it at 18,000 views in 31 days. And I was like, I didn't even put a lot of time into that in terms of like me speaking, but it was me going to other people and then getting their advice and then just piecing it together. But that I think that piecing it together, in addition to, it was a change of scenery every 1 to 2 minutes, right? So it was like 10 people or like 8 to 10 people, and then you got a different, like it was a change of scenery every 1 to 2 minutes. Whereas, you know, when my videos, what I usually do is I'll talk straight to a video. It might be all different clips, but it's the same background, right? So I think I need to change it up, you know, talk with different backgrounds and also script it out a little bit so that I'm a little more coherent and concise with my topics. So Shooting Bros, good to see you. I appreciate all this support, Shooting Bros, especially on my jiu-jitsu videos. I'm enjoying watching creators live stream right now a little bit more than the regular content, a lot more interactive. Yeah, I agree with you, Jeremy, aka Goku Runner. With live stream, it's like it feels like you're hanging out with them. I mean, you are hanging out with them. Even in my laptop or the Ethernet cord straight to my laptop so that it doesn't bug out. But yeah, let me get through these comments. And then also if you're joining me just now, the live stream today is how to build your personal brand, how I'm personally doing it, pros and cons, and just everything, my thoughts on building your personal brand. So cool. All right. Kevin says, glad to hear that you're doing well. Thanks much. Jen has a great yoga voice. Jen does have a great yoga voice. I agree with that. Jeremy said, yoga is great. I'll have to catch a session with you, Jess. JF, real estate. My buddy Jason, yoga is really good for jiu-jitsu too. I totally agree. with that. And there's a reason why a lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners practice yoga. So yoga is very calming and it gets you flexible, and flexibility and being cool when you're about to get choked out, that's a skill. So, and then for those of you all who don't know JF Real Estate, my buddy Jason, he is a small YouTuber as well. He talks about real estate, but me and him had a good conversation yesterday, and we're going to be doing a collab pretty soon. So I'm excited to learn from him, put some more real estate videos out, scripts practice, thoughts on certain topics, and just talking real estate. So Kevin asks, how often do you script for your videos? I don't really script for my videos. The only time that I script for my videos really are my review days. So anytime I have a review, I like to script it out of at least what I want to talk about, at least the big topics. So anytime that I have a review, I'll script it out. Anything else, I don't script out. Because my Q&A, I don't script out. My real estates, I don't script out. Live stream, jiu-jitsu, no scripting, because I just go talk to Drea or I talk to Coach B, and then I have them answer questions with me. And then ultra running, I don't script out as well. So I think if I end up scripting out a lot of, more of my videos, it'll be better. So, yeah. So, Jeremy asks, how's the $500 watch working out? So the $500 watch, the Polar Vantage 2 right here, I haven't even opened it yet because I've been putting it off because I've been so busy and I want to do a proper review on this thing. So, and then the first step to doing a review on this thing is an unboxing. So obviously, I haven't even shot that video yet. So I'm waiting. I was going to shoot it tomorrow or Friday. So I was going to shoot an unboxing video on, and I don't think I'll have a separate unboxing video, but I think I'll do an unboxing portion and then just go through it. My first impression. It's not really even a first impression anymore because I actually looked at the watch already, but I haven't tried it on. I haven't pulled it out. I only looked at it when like taking it out this way. I've looked at it, but that's about it. So I want to do an unboxing portion and then put it on for a full day on, Friday. If I do it tomorrow, then Friday, Saturday, I'll put it on, and then I'll put it on Friday and then do a review on Saturday. But if I end up filming that first portion on Friday, then I'll likely come out with the video on Sunday, because with this watch, it can either go on my review / searchable video, or it can go on my ultra running. Like it's more like ultra running on Sundays, but running just in general. So I can put this on Sunday as well. So it's either coming out Saturday or Sunday. So, oh my God, don't you hate it when you can't open something because you need to unbox it first? That's the story of my life. Yes. So funny enough, my girlfriend also we just got a treadmill, and I was like, I don't really want to unbox it yet, but she wants, me to start building it. But I was like, I really want to film a video because it's a treadmill, right? It's like, it makes sense that I do an unboxing, but I was like, you know what? It's fine. I'll just start building it now, and then, I'll film like a first impressions, my first run on it, and I can actually just talk through some of it was really easy to build or it wasn't easy to build. But, we ended up not filming that portion of it. So all good. Legit, every package that enters my house sits until I can film. Yeah, I agree. Do that performance running test. Maybe that's interesting. Yeah, I'm interested. It seems like a lot of tech in this Polar Vantage 2 watch, which will be a step up from, the Garmin 235. But, I really like the simplicity of the Garmin. I don't really need anything too crazy in terms of I just needed to track my GPS, right? But yeah, I'm excited for it. All right, so let's get into today's topic. And if you're joining me right now, if you could do me a favor and hit that like button, it'd really help me out. But the main topic of discussion today is how to build your personal brand. Just personally, how I'm going about building my personal brand, and then also my thoughts on building my personal brand. One sec, I'm going to grab my water real quick because I'm a little bit thirsty. Okay, don't know where my water bottle is, but I'll just open a Crystal Geyser. And I don't really like Crystal Geyser, to be honest with you. That's why I don't drink it very often, but it's like my emergency, just in case I need a water bottle on the go. So, all right, getting into today's main topic, and I know that Corey, you had a question for me, which I'll actually just answer that question after after this, because I don't have any questions lined up. So I want to talk about today's topic, and then after I'll answer your question that you asked earlier, Corey. And so building your personal brand, specifically, I want to go into details of how I'm building my personal brand, the pros, the cons, and then also the results. So I wish if I had to start all over again, knowing what I know now, I would have started building my personal brand a lot faster. And not even necessarily because, anything that you do is building your personal brand, right? If you go on a run and then you post your run, that's building your personal brand. Or whatever post that you have on social media is building your personal brand, or you just going about your daily life. If people see you doing the thing that you're doing, that's building your personal brand. But for me specifically, I wanted to talk about social media, building your personal brand that way. And I've been on Facebook, I've been on Instagram, for a long time. I've been on it for a few years, but I just wasn't consistent. It was more of, hey, I just want to post every now and then just to update people or to see what I'm up to. But I really didn't have the intent of, I am posting to build my personal brand, right? So even with Instagram, before about 7 to 10 days ago, I was posting once every 2 days, once every 3 days, every so often. But, since 7 to 10 days ago, I've really had a mental shift of, I know that I should be more focused and more intentional in building my personal brand, because it can only lead to good things, in my opinion. And there are pros and cons. Like the pros is that you can leverage it later on for professional reasons, right? So, for me getting this watch, it's because I have a decent following on YouTube, and they see me as a runner, so they gave me this. So they gave me free stuff, but also more importantly for me as a real estate agent for business, I can leverage my social media platforms so that I can, help people buy and sell their homes. And if I help someone buy and sell a home, that's $25,000 or $15,000 to $25,000, right? It's like, why wouldn't I use my social media? So for me, it's using it, leveraging it for business, but also it's also just good to, it can only be beneficial, in my opinion. And it's not necessarily just for to make money, right, as a real estate agent. But I want people to know what I'm interested in. I like posting about certain things to help people as well. And helping people also is a big thing for me, because, when I post about fitness stuff, and most of my stuff leading up to this point has been fitness-related posts, and people have started to come to me for fitness-related things. Before I got into fitness, no one came to me for that, but obviously because I wasn't fit. But then once I got fit and people knew I was a personal trainer, people saw that I went from, a little bit chubby to fit, they started reaching out to me. And at that point, I wasn't even focused on building my personal brand. I was just saying, hey, I got fit. Let me try to help people. I didn't have the intent of building my personal brand. But people naturally came to me because they saw my results, and then they were like, okay, I saw you do that. How did you do that? Please give me some tips. And I'm more than happy to help them to the best of my abilities. And if you've ever reached out to me personally and asked me a question, I'll go more than into detail. A lot of times I have to stop myself because I don't want to overload the other person because they asked me one simple question. But I want to help out, and I'll take the time to help out. And I'm not asking anything from you. All I just want to do is help. So, building the personal brand, you're going to be able to help people. You're going to be able to leverage it for business purposes. And it's also one of those things, when you have a following, it only gets more, it's only going to grow, right? So your YouTube channel, let's say it has, 500 subscribers. It's only going to go up from there. Same thing with your other social media platforms. It's only going to go up from there. And what I'm hoping for is there's a snowball effect. And I've already seen it snowball a little bit. It's like once you gain some traction, people are going to be, he has 1,000 subscribers. They're going to take you a little more seriously, and they're going to subscribe to you, and they're going to want to listen to what you have to say, right? So with personal branding, the pros, obviously, what I just mentioned, but there's some cons, right? To to build a robust personal brand, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You posting a lot, right? It's YouTube, Instagram, it's TikTok, right? I recently got into TikTok. I'm not as consistent as I should be, but I recently got into it. It's a lot of work. You have to take the time to put in the work to build your personal brand. Though also, one of the other negative things is that it could lead to an unhealthy relationship with those platforms, with social media. Yeah, we're on our phones a lot. Are we addicted to our phones? Probably, right? For me, I know, I can admit, like, yeah, I look at my stats more than I should. I'm probably on my phone more than I should be, but there's pros and the cons. You have to outweigh them. You have to outweigh it, right? So I totally understand the argument of, well, I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to be glued to my phone and addicted to my phone. I get that. So now you're taking more of that Cal Newport digital minimalism, like that side of it, right? Like, let's not be on our phones. Let's limit social media. Let's not be on there, right? So, and Cal Newport, that digital minimalism, I think he's kind of in the middle, more of in the middle. Like it's just more of like a balancing for him. But, on the other side of, I don't want a phone at all. I don't want to be on social media at all because of X, Y, and Z. I respect that decision. But if you decide to not be on social media and build your personal brand, then you're leaving out all the pros that I just talked about. It's only going to help you in terms of building your audience. It's only going to help you in terms of business. And then you could also help a lot of other people as well. So pros and cons. But lately, I've had a mind switch because I read Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be on my phone. But then I realized we live in a day and an age where technology is, you can't escape it, right? It's really hard to. And, it's just me listening to a lot of Gary Vee, and it's just like personal brand, right? And it's one of those things where it takes a lot of work, but if you put in the work, it'll pay off, right? Just like with anything else. But it's one of those things where you need to be consistent every single day, multiple times a day for a long period of time, right? For a long period of time. So you need to post a few times a day for 10, like not probably 10 years, but like at least a year. I think 6 months to a year, so people can start recognizing you for that thing that you're trying to build your personal brand around. And also, I don't think that, for example, I'm a real estate agent. I don't just post all real estate stuff. I sprinkle stuff in because I'm more than real estate. And I think that's a better way to approach it, at least in my opinion. I mean, I've seen it work both ways. But for me, I vibe more with the people that I see a more well-rounded like social media game. So that's why I like to throw in real estate. That's why I like to throw in pictures of my cats. That's why I like to throw in ultra running, jiu-jitsu, X, Y, and Z, right? And for me, how I'm personally building my personal brand is through mainly social media, but Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll notice I've been posting 3 times a day on my timeline. Yeah, it's overkill. I think it's overkill, but I'm listening to Gary Vee because Gary Vee is the master of social media, marketing, and also personal branding. So if I'm going to listen to anyone, I'm going to listen to him. I don't, because I've thought about it, I can just do it twice a day, or I can just do it once a day, and that would be enough. But at the same time, I'm not at millions of followers. He is. So why am I trying to modify his advice? We don't need to modify our mentor's advice. They've already done it. So why am I pushing back on, just listen to him. Just like, if I've always been a fan of finding a mentor, whether that's in person, online, whatever, but find a few, right? Not too many. Because if you have too many people that you're listening to, you're gonna pick and choose. Rather, for me, I'm gonna pick one or two people, and I'm just gonna listen to what they say, and just listen to and their advice, right? Because once you start picking and choosing, the system might not work because with that one person's advice, it's a system because it's multifaceted. Whereas if you pick one, it might not work out or it might not be as successful if you just listen to one person. And again, like for me, what do I know? I don't. And that's why, but I feel listening to Gary Vee, that's why I've been posting 3 times a day on my Instagram timeline. And then I try to post 5 to 10 Instagram stories. And the good thing about Instagram stories is that it also links to Facebook. So I have it linked to Facebook. So anytime I post on my Instagram story, it links to my Facebook. And then obviously I post on YouTube once every single day. And at first, when I started the daily videos, it was no one was paying attention. Like, because I didn't have much content on my channel. But after 30 days and 60 days and 6 months, people were like, oh, dude, this guy has 300 something videos, whatever it is. I think I have like a little over 300 videos now. And, people were like, oh, let me pay attention to him, right? And then they start respecting it. Because even if you don't like my content or agree with what I say, you got to respect the grind that it takes to push out one YouTube video. And for me, what I'm doing, that's how I'm building my personal brand. Is social media, Instagram 3 times a day, IG story 5 to 10 times a day, YouTube once a day, and then also Facebook, trying to be more interactive with my Facebook, and then also TikTok. But TikTok, it's really a miss for me right now. I've been really inconsistent, but I've posted a few videos on there, so I just need to be more consistent with it. It's always weird to add something new in because I already have down my routine. So adding that something in, it's always a little bit rough for me at the beginning because I'm not used to separating that time. And even though a TikTok takes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's very, very short. And then for me, I'm a little bit lazy with my TikTok as well. Usually I'll just take whatever I post on Instagram and then I'll just post it on TikTok, which is kind of cheating, but I don't know. I just wanted to get used to the platform. So again, that's how I'm building it. All right. That's the strategy behind it. And also a part of the strategy is the content itself. Right? So the content itself, I try not to mix in too heavy in one specific thing. And I really want to show people that I'm diverse. So, hey, I'm a YouTuber. Hey, I'm interested in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Hey, I'm a real estate agent. Hey, X, Y, and Z. But also, my big goal for my personal brand is a grinder. That's what I want people to know me as. Like, Vince, he's a grinder. He does a lot. And I want it to be, that's the vibe that I'm going for. So hopefully that's been working because it's like, oh, he's always busy. Oh, how does he get all these things done? That's the vibe that I'm going for. I'm going for that Gary Vee type of feel, right? And then also mixing in the David Goggins type of feel of do things that suck, trust in the process, put in the work. Like, that's what I'm going for. And, just to caveat a little bit and just to emphasize it, with my content and especially my Instagram story, and then also my YouTube as well, I like to sprinkle, right? It's not too heavy on one subject, as I mentioned before. So I like to mix it up. And I feel mixing it up for me has really helped me because now people will come to me for all sorts of things, right? Oh, Vince is a vegetarian. And people know that if I've ingrained that into their mind, then they'll come to me for vegetarian topics, right? Or they're thinking about eating healthier, right? So I've already seen a lot of people come to me for fitness advice, obviously, and then now they know that I'm a real estate agent because I'm purposely putting real estate stuff up, especially on my Instagram story. So now I'm trying to basically be that top of mind without, by just using social media. And it's worked out really well for me, to be honest with you. I would say YouTube, 8 months, a little over 8 months of daily YouTube videos. And Instagram, I've always had like a decent Instagram following. It's definitely gotten bigger in the last few months because YouTube as well. Because a lot of my YouTube followers subscribers follow me on Instagram as well. And so I think that's been a bump up, but I've already seen some pretty awesome results from just doing those daily things. I've gotten new opportunities. I'm meeting with new people, and I'm not only like meeting people that are really, really cool, but I'm meeting others that I'm surrounding myself with that are killers themselves. And I feel like we're all in this together and we're all leveling up together. And I want to make sure that we all level up together, because it's no fun getting to the top by myself. But also at the same time, I have like this furious, like just like, oh, like I want you to come with me. I'm down to get to the top together, but also I'm not going to slow down. Right? Because I want to get to the top, and I'm not going to pause. I'm not going to hold myself back, right? And that's one of the things that I've realized with, personal branding and social media is that, like, if you put in the work, the results will come. And for me, I'm more of a document versus create, right? So I'm not creating content that I'm not already doing. So every post that I'm doing, it's just part of my day. So it's not hard to post that post or post that picture or even the YouTube videos. It's not hard because it's already what I'm doing. I'm not making something up. That's why generally I don't script things, but also at the same time, if I script things, then I'll probably, if I take the approach that I have right now, plus do a little bit of scripting, then I think it'll change. But I typically don't script every single thing, right? Because I feel like if I script everything, then it's kind of, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that. It's just not my style. But, if I did a little bit of scripting, I think it would definitely help. And I was at a point before too that I was like, I thought it was obnoxious when people posted too much, right? I was like, why are people posting a lot? Why? But now I'm the complete opposite, because that's why I was really hesitant maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I didn't really want to post a lot because I felt it was just obnoxious, and I didn't want to like no one wants to hear this. But you'd be surprised. People want to hear it. People want to follow. Right? Is it obnoxious? Probably, yeah. Posting 3 times a day on my timeline on Instagram, yeah, it's obnoxious. But I also think that if people think it's obnoxious and they're like, oh, like, okay, then don't follow me, 1. Or then 2, if you have that mindset about me, then I probably don't want to be friends with you. Or, right? It's like when I see people post, and maybe they just don't know better. But if they really do, I'm like, oh my God, Vince is so obnoxious. It's like, why is he doing that? It's like, I don't need that negativity in my life anyways. But when I see other people post, I'm like, yeah, rock on, do it, right? Or when a friend starts a business, it's like, awesome. I'm rooting for you, right? So, and that's the same thing when I see now. I feel like before I didn't really have, I just didn't really understand social media and personal branding. But nowadays, it's like, it's a lot of work, but I also understand it from a side of that other person, like respect to you because you're putting in the work. And again, it's just one of those things you have to put in the work day in and day out. And I've just, if I had advice to anyone, I would just say go hard, right? So for me, I'm a quantity guy. For sure. I'm a quantity guy. I'm a quantity guy. Just like Gary Vee. But I don't think it's quantity in the absence of quality, right? So, generally speaking, when I take my Instagram pictures, I don't take it with my phone. I have a Canon M50. I'm going to use a Canon M50. So I use the Canon M50 for all my photos. And I also edit it lightly in Lightroom. Okay, like that. It's not like the complete absence of quality, but I think quantity up to a certain like threshold of quality, like I think that's better than having quality and not as much quantity. That's just my personal opinion. Because when I look at things, and I think the average person, in terms of, their eye for what they like, right? Like if you're not a photographer, if you're not a videographer, no one really cares. At least in my opinion and my experience, no one really cares about if your audio is that little extra crisp, right? Like if your audio is decent, like it has to be decent. But you don't like you getting a Movo mic, which is $40, versus a $500 mic. No one really cares. No one really knows the difference, right? So for me, I think quantity is the name of the game because quantity will lead to quality. And I'm reading this book right now, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And there's a story in there, a great story. And it was a reference to another book, but basically what it was there was a ceramics teacher and or potter. It's a pottery class, right? So the pottery class, the teacher on the first day, they split the class into two. They say, okay, this is how you're going to be graded. On side A, they said you're going to be graded on the quantity of your clay pots that you make, right? And then on the other side, you're going to be graded on the quality. So you're going to make one pot, and it has to be perfect. And then you're going to be graded on that. Again, the other side, quantity. So they needed like a certain amount of poundage, right? So what happened by the end of the semester? You found that side B, the quality side, they were so focused on the quality that they were doing research, and they weren't spending a lot of their time actually making the pots, right? So when it came down to grading time, when they made the pots, they were terrible because they didn't spend time doing the thing that would have made their pot making better. Whereas the quantity side, they were just going on poundage, right? But because they were going on poundage, they had to make, and they had to do it day, they had to do it often and often. But because they did it so often, their product came out better than the quantity side's product. Why? Because their side turned out to be better than the quality side. So the quantity side of how they were graded, their quality turned out to be better than the quality side because of quantity. So hopefully that didn't confuse you. But that's just a great story because I found that to be so true. Because if you don't take action, you can't get better at that skill, right? So the more videos that you make, the better quality it's going to be because you just have so much practice making those videos. It's going to come with it. And this is I just realized, I'm just rambling right now. But that was just a good story that I could not share. So there you have it. That's how I am building my personal brand. It's mainly through social media. And the vibe that I'm going for is a grinder, but also at the same time, I'm a nice guy. I want to help out everybody, right? That's what I want, to be a grinder and to be a good human being. Grinder, good human being. So that's what I'm going for. All right, now to get to the chat box. And also, if you're just joining me now, or maybe you joined while I was doing my rant, if you can like this live stream, it'd really help me out. All right. Let me go to the chat box. Coach Kev, good to see you. Purpose driven. That's why I used to never post. I mentioned that in my live, I would only post if it was important. Yeah, I agree with that. I think I was just so like, I don't really want to post. It's like, what are people going to think of me? But at the same time, like, now I think about it, like, what was it? Like, why did I think that? Because your supporters, your real supporters are going to support you. They're going to root you on. And if you're like, I don't know, if you don't want to root me on, that's all good, and I probably don't want to be friends with you anyways. But yeah, I think just getting over the fear of judgment of other people, like, I'm posting this for myself. And here's the thing is that I back then as well, I was thinking, I don't want to post until I get big. But I can't get big unless I post, right? Because I feel like, when you first start on your Instagram, for example, you have 100 subscribers, less than 100 followers. It's like, if I post a lot, like, people are going to think it's obnoxious, and I don't even have a big audience. I'll post a lot when I have a bigger audience. But it's like, you can't get a bigger audience if you're not posting a lot. I don't know. It's chicken and the egg. So Jess says, oh my God, I've heard the same story, but I heard it as a photography class. Such a great example. Yeah, exactly. That is now one of my favorite stories. And it's just so true. And I think if you want to grow your social media presence, your YouTube, your Instagram, quantity will lead to quality. And everyone's different. I will say this. I don't think it's a one size fits all. You definitely don't need to do daily videos. You can get there by, one video a month. But I think it's a little bit easier to get there if you go quantity, right? Easier in certain aspects, because easier in terms of, okay, I'm just going to pump out content, but hard in the sense of, okay, I got to pump out like a lot of content. But now it's not, because I don't know the science behind, blowing up overnight, right? So like, you put a YouTube video out and the next thing you know, you have 5,000 subscribers. Like, that generally doesn't happen. But if there's a science behind that, I don't know. But usually that's like, I would say less than 1% of YouTubers. So I got it. It's absolutely true. The more you do it, the more you improve. Grindr, isn't that an app? Yeah, it is an app. I feel like every time I say it too, I'm like always like, Grindr, so it's that's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that. Oh my God, I hear that all the time. When this happens, I'll start. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Yeah, now it's funny, Jess, because it's now all clicking in my head, right? Like, and then when people ask me, I'm sure you get this too. And now that we're, officially YouTubers at over 1,000 subscribers, I feel like a lot more like family and friends are like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to start my own YouTube channel. I'm just waiting. It's like, no. Like, you don't need to wait. You just need to do it. You just need to put out content. Actually, Jess, I use you as an example all the time. So, in a good way. So I always go, dude, I know this small YouTuber, and she films everything off of her phone. So if she films and edits everything off of her phone, you have absolutely no excuse. Like, you don't need a computer, or you don't need a fancy camera. She's doing it off her phone, and her videos turn out great. And she has 1,000 subscribers now. So I agree. Hopefully, also that made me think of, hopefully the laptop is treating you well. How are you liking the laptop, Jess? Have you been editing on it as well? Are you also? I just have a lot of questions for you. Are you editing it on it as well? What editing software are you using, or are you using iMovie that it comes with? Because I know that you got a MacBook Pro recently. All right. Oh, it's not coming until December 10th. Gotcha. Nice. December 10th. That's a long time. Is it backordered? Because I guess, I'm just so used to Amazon being able to deliver everything. Like, so if it's like more than 3 days, it's a long time. That makes sense. It's backed up though, because it's Christmas time, right? It's holidays. So Cool. All right. I have one more question from Corey from the beginning. He asked at the beginning. So I'll answer this question, interact with you all a little bit more. If you have any questions, please write them down right now so I can talk a little bit more. So, because I like talking. So Corey asked at the beginning, what's your thoughts on one's channel and one's name, or what the niche is? I have my name, but just created the niche Facebook channel, Facebook group. So personally for me, I'm a fan of your name. I'm a fan of your name, or something that you can use no matter what niche you're in. So for me, like Life with Vince Luu, like I could talk about anything because it's life with me, right? And not to say that it can't be done, but for me, I just think I'm a bigger fan of it from the aspect of a content creator, right? For me, when I look at other people's channels, like I don't really care about like I guess their name, but it does say something like if I'm first tuning into their channel, it's like if they have like a certain name like something real estate, right? Then it's like I'm more likely to click on it because it says something real estate. But it's always from a creator's perspective. I always felt a little bit weird, like for me, if I said Run with Vince, and then I started posting like not a lot of running stuff, and I've actually had a few people say that too. They're like, oh, if I could go back and rename my channel, I wouldn't have named it run something and then their name, Run with something, all right? And they would have rather just named it their name, because now you're not really tied down to a like specific niche, right? Because for me, whatever direction I choose to go with my channel, whether that's jiu-jitsu, whether that's real estate, if I just decide to focus on one topic, I feel with my name, it's so general that I could go that direction. Whereas if I would have said Run with Vince, like I can't talk about, it feels weird for me to talk about real estate, right? Just being completely honest. And I also think that like if you were to create a new channel, you have to migrate everyone over. And if you migrate everyone over, people might not migrate over. And I'm also not that big of a fan of, because people have asked me like, why don't you just make multiple channels? Like, I don't really want to make multiple channels. Like, one channel is enough. That's a lot of work already. I would rather just have slow growth on one channel that I talk about a lot of things, and then it is what it is. That's fine with me. And I think for me also, when I'm talking about YouTube and just my growth on YouTube and what I'm aiming for, I'm really like, I totally just forgot what I was going to say, but I hate when that happens. It's probably because I didn't eat very much all day, but dang. So yeah, I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm not going to even try to salvage it. It is what it is. All right, cool. And that's all the questions that I have. I didn't bring any preset questions, so I'll chat with you all a little bit more, and then we'll call it a day. All right, they have their month backed up, custom to, because I picked out how I wanted. Cool. I'm excited. I am excited for you, Jess. Edward O said BJJ. Yes, jiu-jitsu. I really do miss jiu-jitsu, to be honest with you. I like jiu-jitsu more than I like ultra running. I like jiu-jitsu more than any other form of fitness, but I just haven't been back because for me, it's more of a caution thing. I see just older folks all the time. I just don't, there's just too many factors to me, and it's a personal choice. Though also at the same time, I understand people going back and training. Like I have no qualms or problems with people training. It's just a personal choice of mine to not train. So I wish that and the first day I could get back, the first day I'm going to get the vaccine, I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to go back on the mats because I really, really do miss it. And I think when that time comes around, it'll probably be like not training for a year. And that's a long time to not be training. I basically have to start over as a white belt. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm not in like jiu-jitsu is just more fun for me, and it's more of the camaraderie that comes with being in a good jiu-jitsu gym and environment, but also it's just mentally stimulating. And it just makes me it's a really if you've never done jiu-jitsu, it's really it's not thought provoking, that's the wrong word, but it really challenges you mentally because it's a game of chess. I move here, you move here, I grip here, you grip here, I do this, you do that, and it's this human form of chess. So it's intellectually stimulating. That's what I was looking for. And because it's intellectually stimulating, you are just trying to figure out that next thing. And that's why they say a lot of quote unquote nerds like jujitsu a lot, because it's mentally stimulating, because it's one of those things. It's a puzzle. And it's not even necessarily you're bigger, you're stronger, right? It's who has better technique and who has a better understanding of the positions of control, who has a better understanding of jiu-jitsu. And that's what I really like about jiu-jitsu. It's different than ultra running, because ultra running, it pushes me in a different way, though. I do like ultra running. I don't enjoy it all that much. But what I like about ultra running better is that it really pushes you to your mental limits. Because running a 100-miler and knowing that, like, because when you run a 100-miler and then you're 70 miles in and you're like, oh, I'm 70% done. But it's like, what? I have 30 more miles to go. I have to be out here for another 7 hours. That's a long time, right? So it just pushes you, it like squeezes everything out of you in a way that jiu-jitsu and, powerlifting doesn't. And they're just different hards. But enjoyment wise, I really do enjoy jiu-jitsu a lot more. So Jess says, my channel started as recipes and I called it Jessipes. Yeah, I remember that you said that. So I had to change it. That was a big step, I think, in claiming my personal brand. Yeah, I agree with that, Jess. And because it's always just been a little like weird to me, because if I had, if I had said like run with Vince, I feel like, can I talk about other things? Do I need to talk? And what if I was just really into running for that time, right? But then a year later, I'm not into running. Like, I might not want to talk about that stuff. So I don't know. So Paintmaster said, hey dude, been wondering how you're feeling about rolling these days. Are you still going to your academy? Took a break from jiu-jitsu since the Bay is too widespread. Yeah, Paintmaster, I haven't been back, to be honest with you. I know people that have been back, but it's a personal choice of mine. So for me, I've been to private lessons. I've been to 2 private lessons since this whole thing started. And I think that's the way that if I were to go back to training without a vaccine, I would have to I would want to get tested and make sure that people that I'm training with are getting tested. And the private that I did, last week, or not last week, like a month ago or so, everyone got tested and then everyone was clear. So we started training, but since then, I've seen people, they've seen people, so I just need to get retested and then I'll be back doing some privates with them. But it's just a personal choice of mine. I really do miss it. But for me, it's like I would feel so guilty if, something were to happen around the people around me. And I haven't been back, but I think, once I do go back, if I don't have the vaccine or if the vaccine's not out, it'll just be the small groups and then also to privates. And the problem is with small groups, well, privates cost money, right? Obviously. And I'm not making money because I haven't closed any deals yet. So it's a little hard for me to want to shell out money when I'm not making money. But once I close my first deal, I might go ham on the private lessons. But also it's finding training partners, because I'm down to train with people who are get tested and are being safe as well. But it's hard to train with people who are actively training at a gym, to be quite frank, because they're training with everyone at a gym, and then if there's 20 people on the mats, and then what are they doing? So also, if I do go back, I think I'm going to wear a mask. I have no shame in wearing a mask. And I think it's just more of a caution thing for me. I don't know. I always go back and forth about this because I really, really do miss the mat. So, and I know some of my audience, they're not jiu-jitsu practitioners, but once you get into jiu-jitsu, you realize how powerful it is and why people are addicted to jiu-jitsu. So yeah, so Paintmaster said, hell yeah, I will be back in the gym as soon as the vaccine is ready. Yeah, I agree with you. This break from rolling is good for healing my ribs and the rest of my body. Yeah, I think if you have bruised ribs or cracked ribs, definitely take the time to heal, because I don't know what a bruised rib or even a broken rib feels like. The worst thing that I've gotten from jiu-jitsu is a sprained finger, and I was a baby about that, and I was like, oh man, I can't imagine people having like broken bones or bruised ribs or anything like that. So Francis, hey, good to see you. It's been so long. I am good, Francis. It's just been busy. It feels like I'm always trying to play catch up nowadays, and I haven't had time to interact with you all like behind the scenes. I try to support as much as I can in terms of like YouTube and everything, but it's even been I've been missing a lot of people's videos because usually what I do, instead of commenting, I try to comment at least 30 minutes every single day, but if that doesn't happen, I usually just play catch up on 1 or 2 days out of the week, and it's just been super busy, but yeah, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. I realize I haven't been over to your channel in a while, and I think, again, it's just like I'm super busy. Life is getting to me. So, but it is what it is. I think, I'll definitely be picking up. I'm working out my schedule. So, hopefully the schedule will allow 30 minutes to 45 minutes in the morning of commenting on other people's videos, supporting them. And then hopefully that's enough time to cover everyone that I want to support. But if not, I just have to roll it over to the next day and catch up on the weekend, Friday or Saturday usually. So it's okay. I took a 3-week break from being on YouTube in terms of support. Yeah, I agree, Francis. It's a lot. And there are definitely days where I feel like, oh, I just want to not comment on people's stuff. And not comment on people's stuff, but it's just sometimes I just want to break, and but also it's one of those things, right? I mean, and you two, Francis and Jess, probably agree with me. It's overwhelming. And it gets to a point where it's like, oh, I really need to take a break from this. But also at the same time, when I watch other people's videos, the people that I'm supporting, I'm like enjoying myself, and I like doing it, right? And I enjoy your videos, and I want to support you. So like when I'm doing it, it's like I'm happy to do it, but it's also exhausting me in a way of where like, oh, it's a lot. Right? Because isn't it weird how it does that? Because when I watch your videos, it's like, yeah, I really enjoy the videos, and I'm like smiling and I'm laughing, and but also at the same time, you're doing this with 20 to 40 other people. It's like, this is a lot. So it really is hard to keep up with that level. Yeah, bro, I haven't watched others' videos since last Thursday. Yeah, Kev, I think I'm gonna do that. I think. I've started to do that. There's some people's where I know they're a small YouTuber and they'll comment on my videos, and then I used to go and comment on their videos, but now it's like I just comment back on my comment. But there are a select few where I try to watch every single one of your videos, especially if I know that you create 1 to 2 videos a week. If you create more than 2 videos a week, I try to catch at least, like, let's say you create like 5 or 6 videos, like 4 to 5 videos a week, I try to catch at least 2 of them, right? But yeah, taking that break, I think it's healthy. I agree. I barely got my video posted it's just a lot of work. And I think we're all at that level, right? We're all like right around a little over 1,000, and it's like, all right, this is getting out of hand. Like, it's all good. Like, and as I've said before as well, like, if you're like, for me, if people don't watch all my videos, don't even, only watch the videos that you're truly interested in. But also, like, no one's going to be like, oh, Coach Kev didn't watch my videos this week. I'm not. I don't even think about that. It's not even a thought, right? And I think people can think that of if I don't comment on so and so's videos, they're gonna be super upset at me, or they're gonna be like, and this is the thing, because even when I said to Jess, like, hey Jess, I'm so sorry that I missed your live stream, she's like, don't even worry about it. You're like, hey, it's all good, don't worry about it, like, life happens. But for me, it's like, so the other side, they're generally really happy that you're even supporting them, and it's all good. Like, it's no big deal to them, so it shouldn't be a big deal to us on the other side, right? So I miss you guys when I don't watch, but I'm the same. When I'm watching, I'm so happy because I'm watching my friends. Sometimes I think I just need to remember how happy it makes me feel when I'm tired. Yeah, it's more of that tired thing, because I always I was up watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and now I gotta wake up at 6 a.m. and I have to wake up at 6 a.m. because I have a meeting at 7. So, and I'm always I'm always a little bit tired, but it just has that yeah, I feel ya. Peyton Master says, like you, I stuck with running for cardio, but I got so hooked on mountain biking instead. Running can get so monotonous. Yeah, I think running, honestly, is not very fun for me. I don't really like running all that much, to be honest. But running, it's more of it's like a good, I don't know, it's a good way to burn extra calories so that you can eat a little bit more, but also cardio for me is more of, like, when I was doing jiu-jitsu, it was let's do cardio so that I can get better on the mats. And then also, that's why I'm really into ultra running, because ultra running, when you're running those long runs of 15 miles or more, it's the hardest time out there is the hardest thing about ultra running is the sheer time that you're out there training. But ultra running, what I like about it, it pushes you to that mental limit to a place that not a lot of other places can put you. Right, because even when you're in jiu-jitsu, you get submitted. It's humbling, right? But it only sucks for a split second when you tap, before you tap, right? So it's like when you get submitted, you're in a crap position, and then you tap, and then they let go, and then that's the end of the pain, or whatever it was, right? Or you get foot locked, and then you're like, I don't want to tap, I don't want to tap. But then you tap, so it might hurt, but the time of hurt is not very long. Whereas ultra running, the time of hurt is a long time, right? You're like, I gotta run. Even the 50 miler that I did last week, the 50 miler attempt that I tried a few weeks ago, I ran 34 miles. I'm like, oh my God, I have 16 more miles. That's a long time. So, and then it's like every step is agonizing. Every step hurts, but it also calluses your mind in a way that, it's very different than jiu-jitsu. But that's why I like ultra running. The ultra running, I don't like the training, because the training is doesn't push me mentally. But I like running the actual ultras because it pushes me mentally. So, cool. Well, I appreciate everyone for hanging out, especially Jess, Francis, Paintmaster, Coach Kev, for you all for sticking around. I appreciate you all. And yeah, I'm excited. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I will be coming out with a video tomorrow. It's miscellaneous, so who knows what it might be. So I appreciate you all. Let me know if you have any further questions for me. Feel free to DM me. Feel free to throw it into the comments below when the video comes out. So, okay, wait, one more question. So what is your favorite position to get your submission? Side control all day. So, Paintmaster, my side control isn't all that good, because I feel like I'm just not distributing my weight very well. Because when I end up in side control, what usually happens is, especially if it's a bigger guy, if it's a smaller guy, it's not that big of a deal. But if it's a bigger guy, they'll usually just bench press me. Or they'll use their strength and be like, just roll me over. And then now they're side controlling me. So for me personally, I like to go to my guard. And then once I have them in my guard, I'll go double sleeve if it's a gi. Double sleeve, and then I'll shift into spider. So I'll go 1 foot on the hip, 1 foot on the hip, and then 1 foot on the bicep. And then from there, depending on if they have a knee up, knee down, if they have both knees down, then I'll go set up the triangle from there. And then the triangle, it's always a triangle, and then armbar, triangle, armbar. So if they pull up, If they pull up, then I'll attack the armbar. If not, I usually like to pull them down, try to go for the triangle. And if they have like a knee up or something, then I'll go for a sweep. So yeah, so that's like my favorite setup because I feel like I have a lot of control. Also, I really like playing like a De La Hiva or a reverse De La Hiva. Actually, I like playing De La Hiva more. And then once I have someone in a De La Hiva, you push them up, you sweep them, and then you're in a footlock. So, or not a De La Hiva, I'm sorry. What's that called? So I like playing De La Hiva too, because there's a lot of cool sweeps from De La Hiva. And I really like to play a lot of, I don't like it when someone's really on top of me, right? So anything like a De La Hiva where I can push, where I can use my feet, I can push them, right? So I can push them a lot further. So yeah, like De La Hiva I like a lot because there's like some cool sweeps, or single X, that's what it is. I like to play single X, right? Because single X, you if you can sweep them, there's a footlock right there. And usually I've been catching people in footlocks because they don't expect it, because you sweep and then a straight ankle, right? I usually go for a straight ankle lock, and then if they end up rolling, because they're gonna roll, and then I go belly down, straight ankle. So I catch that one a lot. But also I feel like I should focus on my other areas of jiu-jitsu because I always try to get to that position, but it's like everything else sucks. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I get lucky with the straight ankle because not a lot of people are expecting it, right? So, and then once you have it in, you just have it in, you tucked it in. So, cool. Yeah, I appreciate the questions, Paint Master. I really like talking about jiu-jitsu, and I really miss it. So, it's just not the same watching DVDs, and it's not the same like drilling by yourself. I also don't have a dummy, so I'm excited to get back on the mats. And Paint Master, I'm not sure if you said, but I think you said you're in the Bay Area. Would love to roll with you sometimes when things calm down. So cool. Well, I appreciate everyone. That is the end of the live stream. I will talk to you all soon. Peace.